to the All Chicken channel. Right, All Things Chicken, sponsored by an anonymous donor. We don't want to mention names, but I want to say that we're here today to answer the most important questions that you have about chickens, because I know that there's things on your heart and things on your mind all about the chicken, and we want to answer those questions. The most important question ever asked about the chicken was, can I hear it? Right. Why did the chicken cross the road? Why did that chicken cross the road? And I want to tell you, I've discovered a few interesting answers. The first one is, the chicken crossed the road because he had cock-a-doodle-doo something. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Those guys have such a big mouth. Wake me up. The second answer is social distancing. And I know you know what that means. Yeah, keep the 6 foot distance. Oh, where's their mask? Shame on them. And of course, there's a related question. Why did the rubber chicken cross the road? And I want you to know that it was because he had to stretch his legs. I think he went a little too far on that one, don't you? But you know, my favorite answer to this pounding question is one that my sister gave me. And she said, why did the chicken cross the road? And she said, because he could. You get it? Because. Isn't that funny? Oh, my sister is so funny. I want to tell you though, the reason we came today to Mr. Jeff Time is because I want to talk to you about a really important question that all of you have that begins with the word why. And that is, why did Jesus have to die on the cross? You know, wasn't there some other way that Jesus could help us out? But why did he have to die? And I want to show you. There's two answers. The first part begins like this. Right here in the middle. You see my middle jar? This jar represents God. Right? God. And these two jars on the outside, this represents man and all the evil in the world. Sin. That's the word we use, right? But you know, in the beginning, God and man were side by side. God did a beautiful job in creation. He says so in the Bible. But then man decided, what did he decide? He would rather be close to sin rather than God. And so sin came into man. Oh, look what it did. Oh, it really messed man up. And so man thought he was lost forever. But what did God do, boys and girls? God came in and forgave his sins. And look at that, cleaned man right up, and man was right back on the right side of God. You know, this happened back and forth, and God continued to forgive man through time. But I'll tell you what, when man gives his life totally to God, oh, well, it's kind of full. When you give yourself totally to Jesus, no matter how much evil tries to attack you, it can never overcome God's power to take care of you and to keep you pure and clean. Look at that. God consumed every bit of sin that was possible. And this took place, let me tell you, in the second part of our answer. This taking all of the sin, all the world's sin, not just yours, not just mine, but everybody's, took place on the cross. Do you remember the story of the cross? The cross, how many crosses were there, boys and girls? I believe, if you remember, there were 3. Let me put this up on my board here, without knocking my board down. You see the 3 crosses? You remember the 3 crosses? Who's on this cross? Who's on this cross? Who's on? You remember Jesus was on the middle cross? Who was over here? The thief, the bad guy. And how about over here? The thief, the other thief, the bad guy. Why were the thieves there? Because they were being punished for doing the bad things. But why was Jesus on the cross? He didn't do anything bad. Oh, it was because it was God's plan to take care of all that sin that I was talking about. And so, let's look at our next picture. Let's talk about those 2 thieves. Okay, there's my 2 crosses. I'll get them up here so they don't fall down, okay? Remember the 2 thieves? One on the left, one on the right. There they were. hanging side by side next to Jesus. Each one was getting what they deserved, punishment for being bad. But one of them looked at Jesus and said, "Hey, take us down off this cross if you're God. Let's get out of here." But the other one said, "Don't talk like that. We deserve to be punished. This man doesn't deserve any punishment." And that man that said that, the one on the right side, he became friends with Jesus in that very moment. In that very moment, Jesus took all his sin away. And Jesus said to that man, "You will be with me in heaven. You will be with me in heaven." But the other man, he died without ever knowing the love of God. He died without ever accepting it. And so he died with his sins. Now let's get to the top cross, okay? Why did Jesus have to go and die on the cross? It has to do with us and sin and forever with God. You see, when Jesus was on the cross, he gave us life everlasting, and he took away all the sin. You see how that moves from one side to the other? You see how he helped us to cross over and away from sin into life everlasting? Boys and girls, the cross is a beautiful picture of Jesus opening his arms so that we could cross over from sin into everlasting life. Isn't that awesome? Why did Jesus have to die on the cross? For us, for life, for destroying sin forever. Let's always thank him for that. Let's praise him for that, because only Jesus can do that. Hey, I know there's more questions pouring in about the chicken and other things, so I got to get back to my office. I love you guys. Please remember, life, sin is gone when you're living in Jesus' wonderful arms. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Hey, why do I have to get out of here? Because I need to.